Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I want to answer five EAP questions, really. I know I have talked about EAP before, and I keep saying how you should definitely use your EAP. You should use your EAP. I think the EAP programs need to collectively start paying me, some type of fee or something, but that's another story. But today I wanted to just answer five EAP questions and just share more information about what EAP is and why I believe people should be using it. But before I get into that, I want to take a quick moment and say if you are subscribed, thank you so much for being a part of our world of awesomeness. And if you're not yet subscribed, please take a moment and click the subscribe button below so that you can join this awesomeness. And remember to tick the bell so that you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase one or three of my books, also a link below that will take you to a site that shows you your different options of places where you could get one or three of my books. Okay, let me get back. First question I'll answer is, what is EAP? EAP stands for Employee Assistance Program. It is a program that most employers have, especially if your employer offers health insurance. More than likely, they will have an employee assistance program. They will be part of some level of an EAP. They vary by company. The benefits vary by company. Sometimes the benefits even vary by employee. However, most companies have some type of an EAP, and most people, if you are employed by a company where you receive a W-2 instead and not a 1099, more than likely you have access to an employee assistance program. And they are used for a lot of different things. And one of the biggest benefits that most employee assistance programs do offer is free access to mental health services, where they will provide anywhere from 3 to 6 sessions or sometimes even 10. Free of charge and free of copay. So it's a benefit that your employer pays for. Whether or not you use it, your employer still pays for it. If they are paying an insurance company $1 per employee for their EAP program, whether 10 employees use that EAP service or not, they're still paying that $10 or that $1 per employee. So that's one of the reasons I always tell people, use it, because whether or not you take advantage of the benefit, your employer is still paying for it. And it is not something that they are charging you for, even if you do not have, even if you do not have insurance with that company, you're still eligible. By being an employee, you're still eligible for the EAP benefits. I think I went into question 2 in there somewhere, but the second question is, who is eligible for EAP? Usually every employee of the company is eligible, whether or not you're full-time or part-time. One example I often use is even your part-time employees at Walmart have access to an EAP program, which is to show you how broad it is. It's because a lot of times we know that people often talk about the way the benefit structure work with that particular company, but even their employees have access to an EAP. Their employees can call an EAP service and get access to free counseling, whether it's going to be 3 sessions or 6 sessions or whatever the package is that they have. Sometimes I do crisis responses. I'll show up to an organization and I'm talking to them and I will tell them that it's their employee assistance program that brings me here. And that's when most people discover that, hey, that is a thing. It is a thing. And you are eligible for it. And not only is the employee eligible for the EAP benefits, the employee's immediate family also qualify for that benefit usually. And by immediate family, this means your spouse and your children, your dependent children, not your 40-something-year-old child who lives in a completely different state, but a child that would be eligible for your health insurance if you were getting it would usually qualify for the EAP services under your employment. So It's for yourself, for your spouse, and any dependent children. If you receive a W-2 at work and not a 1099, most likely you do qualify. If you have a great EAP program, maybe it will even cover some 1099 employees. But I know that a lot of companies are now moving people towards, self contractors to avoid giving employees benefits. But if you're getting a W-2, more than likely you and your family will qualify for that employer's employee assistance program. What can you use EAP for? It all depends on the on the package that your employer has. The most common resource way that people use their employee assistance program is for mental health services. Most EAPs will include a number of sessions. I have seen as few as 3. I have seen as many as 10. On average, I see 6. The average employer's package will allow an employee to get 6 sessions per incident. Some companies, it will be per year. Some companies, it's per incident. When it's per incident, this means that, let's say in January, you and your partner were having an issue and you reached out to EAP and you got EAP services in January. And maybe in June, you're having a different issue. Maybe you're having some struggles at work and you want to see someone. That would be a different incident and you would get a different bucket of 6. Some EAPs will even renew. I have seen clients where they had an issue and they started seeing a therapist, and then the issue was not fully resolved and they've used their 6 sessions. They've gone back to the EAP and have been able to get their authorization renewed for another 6, maybe for another 5. It all depends on the package that your employer has. But you can use it for mental health services. One of the best that I have seen, it's not that I'm promoting Target, but Target is one of the best that I have seen, where they have added so many other things, so many other opportunities, so many other options for their employees. I think one of the benefits is help assisting them with childcare. It all depends on your employer and what they want to offer. And again, Target, they're one of the best that I have seen in all my years of dealing with EAP. So forgive me for going back to Target. I don't know. It's not that I'm Team Target, but that they're one of the best that I've seen. They're one of the companies that actually make it a point to let their employees know, or their team members know, about the existence of their employee assistance programs and what they can do with it. Which brings me to number 4. Where can you get information about your employee assistance programs? Many employers now have some type of internal portal, some kind of employee portal, or where you get information about your benefits. If you look in there, more than likely you will find that information. But the easiest way to know or to figure out how to access your employee assistance program is to talk to human resources. They will be able to tell you, hey, look and log into your account on there, and then look in there, and this is where it is. Or they may just be able to hand you a number and say, hey, here, just call these people, and they'll be able to give you that information. It's easily accessible. And sometimes, even if you walk into the human resources office, I don't know if they are open, if the human resources office at your job is open, sometimes you can walk into the human resources office and you'll see the number somewhere on a wall where they post all these, all the other information. So there are many options for finding it out. The easiest, again, reach out to HR. Or if you have, whenever I go to a crisis response, wherever I happen to be, one of the things that I know I make sure I do is every person I see, I tell them, hey, take out your phone, put this number in your phone, save it as EAP. When you get access to that, when you see the number, when you find the number, just make sure that you save it. That way, if and when you ever you ever need to use it, you will know where it is. You will have access to it, because they provide, not only do they provide access to a a therapist that you see for however many sessions, sometimes they have a 24-hour telephonic support. They have all sorts of different things that can help people. And yeah, it's there. Whether or not you use it, the employers still pay for it. So use it. How can you maximize your EAP benefits? One thing, whenever I tell people about EAP, I tell them the process. Hey, okay, reach out to HR or go into this portal, go into your employee portal and find the EAP information. Usually when you reach out to EAP, they'll send you a list of people who are part of their program. For instance, you get a list that tells you, hey, these 25 therapists are part of our program. They will see you and you will not have a copay. What I tell people to do is make sure when you reach out to these organizations or these providers, ask them if they take your insurance. Your EAP services are not on your insurance. They are not necessarily a part of your insurance. However, very often what happens is you start seeing a therapist for an issue. Maybe you get 3 sessions, maybe you get 6 sessions, and your issue is not fully resolved before you've used all the sessions that you were allowed. At that point, your options are to either start paying out of pocket or stop seeing that therapist. The way you get around that is making sure that the therapist that you pick is someone who accepts your insurance. Because let's say you've done your 6 sessions and you still need more sessions, you can transition from an EAP to your insurance, where instead of 0 copay, you will be paying the copay of your insurance. But at least you don't have to start over. You don't have to, it makes the process easier. It makes for an easier transition, but you don't get that easy transition if you don't at the beginning make sure that you go to someone who takes your insurance. Whenever they give you a list, they usually give you a list of several providers. And you can reach out, you can ask them. And I often tell people this, when you're looking for, whether it's a counselor or any type of provider for that matter, it's okay to call and ask questions. Don't just say, hey, I got your information from the EAP. Ask them, hey, do you work on this particular issue? Hey, do you accept this particular insurance? Just because they are part of your EAP, maybe your EAP is being serviced by Aetna and this provider takes Aetna, but you have Blue Cross and Blue Shield as your main insurance and this provider does not take Blue Cross Blue Shield. So if that happens all the time, just because your EAP is with this, the provider takes your EAP does not necessarily mean that they are going to take your insurance. So one of the best ways to maximize your EAP benefits is making sure that you use a provider who also accepts your main insurance. I thought this was going to be a really quick video, but it turned out it was not as quick as I thought. But let's do a quick recap. 1, what is EAP? It's the Employee Assistance Program. It is a benefit that your employer pays for. And whether or not you use it, they still have to pay for it. So you might as well use it. 2, who is eligible for EAP? Employees of that company and their immediate family. That means you as the employee, your spouse, as well as dependent children, who would be eligible for your health insurance. Even if you do not have insurance with the company, you still qualify for the EAP by virtue of being an employee. What can you use EAP for? Lots of things. Main thing is mental health services. But depending on your employer, they may have other benefits. So the best way to find out what those other benefits are would be to contact the EAP and ask questions. 4, where do you get EAP information? Most places, if you have some type of employee portal, it's on there. But the easiest way to find the information is to call or reach out to somebody in HR and ask them how to reach out to the EAP. And when you get that information, save it in your phone. 5, how do you maximize your EAP benefits? Make sure that whatever EAP providers that you're picking, make sure that they also accept your regular health insurance. because if your EAP benefits run out before you're done with whatever you're resolving your issue, when you make sure they take your insurance, you will be able to continue with your services, transition from EAP to a regular insurance user, and continue with your services until you get the issue resolved. Yeah, that's it for this video that I thought was going to be super quick, but turned out to be super long. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please figure out who those people are in your community so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.